Is the volume good? I know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. My real football and fantasy teams are atrocious. Then I try to pick games against the spread. And the shitters play their best when I pick the favorite. Ooh. Ooh. But I'm still easy. I'm easy on Sunday morning. We're here with Dave and Joseph. It's amateur hour on Sunday morning.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Amateur Hour, episode 8. I sent out the invite with episode 9 as the title. I apologize. Jumped the gun a little bit. It is episode 8. First, I'd like to say, dear Lord, please forgive us for recording a podcast at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning instead of being in Mass. That's your good holy boy, Jonathan Opheim, at work. Welcome back. Like I said, I'm really glad to get this episode recorded because we got a very special guest today. Coming on, if you're scrolling through the episodes, looking at who was the guest on each episode, you'd think that this is a first-time winner coming on today. But this is Joe Klasowski, a.k.a. Joey Diesel, coming on for his second win in the Pick'em League. So, Joe, congratulations and welcome on, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. John, how you doing, buddy? How are things in Green Bay? How are the vibes in Green Bay, John?
Yeah, I would say they're really excellent vibes. We've actually had 2 good weekends, so I expected it to be maybe not snowing, but like highs of 45 degrees at this point, and we've had 2 60-degree days this weekend, so it was nice for Halloween. You didn't freeze your nuts off when you were walking around in your costume, Which, by the way, did you guys dress up as anything? I feel like this is a good topic to discuss.
Yeah, we just went to a bar crawl on Friday. We went as Rip and Beth from Yellowstone. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show, but
oh yeah, who is Rip? Is he the big cowboy?
Yeah, that's him.
And Beth is the sister.
Yeah.
Or the daughter of
the daughter of the main guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
I did not dress up as anything for Halloween. I got to be honest, I'm not a big Halloween guy. I mean, I like drinking, I like going to the bars, but I'm not a big dressing up guy. I'm not creative. So I really struggle with every Halloween. I used to be the guy that just dressed up as like some sports athlete or whatever, and that's just such a lame guy to be at the party, So I always struggled with that. So
you were always a freaking Christian McCaffrey or no Christian Leitner. Sorry.
Christian Leitner,
yeah. And then Max would just rip you a new one the whole night. Remember?
Yep.
So stupid, Dave. You put a hoop over your head. It's so dumb.
I thought it was a cool costume. I mean, I liked the old shoes, the high white socks. I had the short shorts and the cut up net around my neck. That was a cool costume, no matter what Max says.
Yeah, F Max.
What were you, John? What were you? I already know, but why don't you tell the listeners?
Oh yeah, I did want to shout out to Carla because she made this Teletubby hat for me, and I got a picture here. I'll show you.
Do you think that you'll ever be as good as the Teletubbies from 30th Street in college, our P3 year?
You were the Teletubbies?
We were the Teletubbies, yes.
Oh, that's pretty good. I didn't know that. This is the picture. I don't know if you can see it.
No, move it over a little. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's nice. Those are good costumes. I really like the tinfoil on the stomach. I think that was a big miss for us. Here's ours.
Teletubbies.
Oh, you guys had the masks.
Yeah, we bought the masks on Amazon, but we really forgot that when I was looking at your costumes, I was like, damn, we should have put the tinfoil on the stomach. That was a great idea.
Yeah, and then Carla's got ripped off, so she just started ripping everyone else's off violently at the bar.
Because she was jealous?
She was jealous. She didn't have any more tinfoil, and when life's going bad, you want to drag others down with you.
Yeah, that's usually my plan of attack too.
But I think my favorite was Jess's because it looked like just a big, large green penis on her head. That was awesome. Everyone's like, "What?" You know, if she was by herself, everyone's like, "What the hell are you?" You know, because if we weren't together, people didn't really get it.
Yeah, you had to be together, which is a
Yeah.
good aspect of the Teletubbies or Telechubbies.
The Teletubbies, yeah, that's good. But
What was your guys' favorite costume you've ever worn in your life? Can you remember?
Um,
Carla and I, recent memory, she decided and it was a really great costume. We went as a Nintendo Switch. So she was like a red controller and I was a blue controller. And then we had a big piece of cardboard as the screen. I thought that was very creative. She like did the buttons.
It's a little disrespectful to Max, who you won a costume contest with when you were Peter Pan and Captain Hook. I think that was your greatest costume I've ever seen.
That was my second choice.
You were good Ninja Turtle too.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You're a big Halloween guy. You're a big dress up as something different. Like, are you hiding from something? Are you running from something, or what's the deal?
Yeah, the federal government.
The IRS?
Yeah, they know I owe a lot.
Joe, what about you? You thought of a good costume?
Yeah, one of my favorite ones was I dressed up as Jackie Moon from Semi Pro, and I had the short shorts, the afro, the whole get up.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Go ahead.
What's yours?
I got to say probably the Teletubbies was my favorite, but I think the year prior I was blind ref. People kind of thought that was stupid, but I thought it was kind of cool. You know, I had the sunglasses on and I had the whole like NFL get up and I had a flag in my pocket that I would throw around. I went and bought a golf club at Goodwill and I snapped like the iron part off. So I just carried a stick around and was like smacking people in the legs. But of course, like when I think I saw Max that night and he was like, "Oh, Dave, another sports person. Oh, great costume, you loser."
Yeah, they're I don't know, I gotta say, when you go to the bar on Halloween, you see these losers are not dressed up, you're like, what a lame ass. You can't like put a hat on or something, you know? I mean, come on, put a cone on your head or
See, I think like the sports thing is really dumb when like you throw like a sports jersey on a hoodie and go out and say that's your costume. But like if you got the full get up, I think that's excusable. You know, one year I went as a baseball player, I had like the eye black, the baseball pants, the hat, the sunglasses, that's different. The arm sleeves. Yeah. But sometimes like when I went out to downtown Milwaukee for Halloween last year, you know, I always go home at like the worst times. I went home on Halloween and my buddies are like, "You want to go out?" And I'm like, so I dressed up as I wore this big flannel, this red like flannel thing, and then I wore like a paper towel roll, and I was Mr. Brawny. Nobody really got it. Not one single person knew what I was. But both my buddies that I was with just threw a basketball jersey on a hoodie, and I was like, "That's so lame." Like,
yeah, that's lame ass, dude. Yeah, I mean, at least you had the paper towel roll, I presume, right?
Yeah, I had the paper towel roll, and I wrote Brawny on it in Sharpie, but nobody knew what I was.
That's okay. I remember a couple of years back, one of Carla's friends went as the American Dream, so she had on like all American pajamas and then like the sleeping wear, and Carla's cousin asked him, "What the hell are you?" And she's like, "Oh, well, this means this and this means that, so I'm the American Dream." And he's like, "Yeah, if you have to explain it that much to people, your costume probably sucks."
I actually agree with that take. I think I don't like when people are like some sort of like metaphor or some bullshit. Like just go as some character, you know. I don't like having to explain to people what you are. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. Hey, what are you guys drinking? I always forget to ask.
I got a Busch Light today. I'll explain. I'm not a massive Busch Light guy. I'm more of a Bud Light guy myself. But you know, I had some buddies visit. Shout out Gabby and Mav. They visited a couple weeks ago, and he told me he wanted Busch Light. So I got a 30 rack of Busch Light. He might have had one or two the whole weekend. So now I got to chug these Busch Lights to get to the next case of beer.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm drinking Busch Light as well. That's my go-to Sunday drink, and that's what I credit most of my wins to is Busch Light.
Wow.
I make those picks without them. Yeah.
Shout out Busch Light.
Do you have a special can or is it just the regular white and blue one?
I've got the camo ones.
The red and the orange and gray camo one.
Yeah, let me see. Show the audience.
Let me go grab one from the fridge.
He probably has it. He poured it out in something. He threw it away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my bad, Joe. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Joe has to go outside to his apartment dumpster to go fish it out.
Nice.
Thanks for showing the audience.
Yeah, no problem.
Joe, I appreciate that. The dedication.
Oh, what do you got there, John?
I have a lime cherry sparkling water. It tastes like the Sprite Christmas edition.
And John's going NA on Sunday morning. He's respecting the Lord and going NA. He says, if I'm not taking communion with wine, I won't drink any booze today, God. And God's very
That's
happy
right.
about that.
And Jesus'
John's a good
mom's
boy.
coming.
Yeah.
But last night we did drink a lot of Busch Light. So I was even ordering tall boy Busch Lights at the bar, which I usually don't do. Because I wanted to keep it the same. You know, in my older age, I try to stick with the same thing all night. So your guts don't get all effed up. Like when you have Taco Bell for breakfast.
Are you a believer of the beer before liquor, never sicker, and liquor before beer, you're in the clear?
I don't have any good evidence to
I'm a-
push it either way.
I'm a strong believer of it. If I ever have beer before liquor, it's never ends up well.
I think it's like so hard. Like who in their right mind is gonna have like? Because usually what happens is you drink beer and then you get shots at the bar. Like I don't know how you reverse that. What do? You
Well,
take shot?
a lot of people like pregame with shots, yeah, and then go drink beers at the bar, I think, because it's cheaper.
Okay. I'll be honest, I've never tried it, so I can't bash it.
But usually I'll start with like a vodka Red Bull, and then maybe I'll switch to beers. Get the party going with a couple of vodka Red Bulls. But last weekend I went beer all day and then went vodka Red Bull at the bar because I was like, feeling a little tired and I feel like I need to get a kick in the ass, and I got a vodka Red Bull, and things spiraled quickly after that, I gotta say.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you feel in the morning? Were your guts effed up?
Yeah, my guts were a little messed up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, it sounds right.
It was a Sunday well spent on the can, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure you.
When you're just ass naked fighting for your life,
Yeah, I'm sure you made Jackie proud.
Yeah, she was real proud of that one. Yeah.
Oh, what a great guy.
Yeah, she had to drive me home that night too, so it was a tough scene all around, I think, in the Wood Thompson household.
All right, let's do our relationship report.
Yeah, it's a good segue into that. I think I had to really struggle here because we missed our normal Tuesday recording because of John. So I got to say, I'll give myself. I'm going to include this past weekend. We went to a concert, so I think I earned a couple bonus points there. I'll give myself an 8 this week. I've been a good guy. I've been nice. I've been taking care of the apartment and things, and we went to a concert, so that was a fun time. So
yeah, we
I'll
know.
give myself
What was the concert?
Luke Combs. Luke Combs.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was badass. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not a
he's
big
good.
concert guy, I will say, but man, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Jordan Davis opened for him, and so he was really good too. So
Where was it?
and downtown Omaha, where Creighton
wow.
basketball plays. And we're on the floor too. Shout out Bailey J. This girl I went to high school with. She bought the tickets, and we went as a little group, so it was fun.
Damn. So you have some people back in Omaha,
No. She came from Milwaukee to Omaha because she has some friends here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, very good, David. But just to be clear, that was not Jackie giving you the report. That was what you give yourself.
No, I forgot to ask Jackie. So maybe
Okay.
let's notch it down 1 point, and I'll give a 7 this week.
There we go. That sounds good. Carla did text me at 10:01 a.m. She said 9 out of 10 because you gave me a great birthday on Wednesday with a massage, and I realized you've done the grocery shopping for the past few weeks. Love you! Exclamation point.
Nice.
So-
I don't think Jackie even trusts me to go grocery shopping because I just buy all the cheap shit and all the frozen stuff, So we have to go together as a group. She doesn't trust me by myself, and I don't go with the list. You guys go with the list?
I do, yeah.
I like to free ball it, dude. I free ball it. I just walk through the aisles and see what looks good and toss it in there.
Yeah,
That's how I end up with more shit than I actually need. I spend way too much money.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's big facts.
I agree with Joe. I try to go with a list, but yeah, when I don't go with a list, that's when I piss away a lot of money.
Fair.
All right, Joe, give it to us.
Well, I haven't had time to ask my girlfriend, but if I had to rate myself, I think it was a conservative 7.2 this week.
Oh, nice. Just over Dave.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I deserve that.
Yeah, you do. Okay, pick 'em results. Shit, I forgot to pull it up. But I know that Joe and Jess tied for first, and they picked the exact same score. Yeah, which is pretty
I got
wild.
Joe and Jess tied for first. I got Dan finally finishing on the podium this week, getting third place, tied with Trevor, Shauna, Bill. Shout out Bill, and Amanda Wiedemeyer. A lot of people tied for third this week, but Dan squeaked it out with a tiebreaker win.
So actually, Dan and Trevor.
Oh, just
split
kidding. Dan and Trevor tied with the tiebreaker. So we had a
they
tie
each
for
got
first and a
15
tie for third.
Yeah, they each got 15 pucks. So
Yeah.
so kind of a disappointing week. You get in the money and then you don't even double up.
Yeah, I would say a good week all around, except for my buddy, John and Tyler Soman, who's usually elite at picking games, finished at the very bottom of the list this week.
He had a rough start. It's lucky his Jets showed up for him, or he would have even been worse off. He would have had four right. But
I'm sure he would say it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. So.
no, that's right. And I think the total overall has tightened up because Soman had a shit week. But let me check.
Yeah, it did. Soman's in first by he's 62 and 47. I'm in second, 58 and 51, tied with Jenna, 58 and 51.
Impressive. Where's Joe at?
I'm sitting fifth right now, I believe.
Yeah, Joe's 55 and 54. Hey, over 500, Joe. That's a good start.
I had a lot. I think the last 2 weeks have been pretty rough for me, to be completely honest. But we're on the come up.
Oh, bet the money line. There he is. Yeah, you're doing pretty good. You're in striking distance, Joe.
Yeah.
I am not, but still better than. Shout out to Amanda and Nirvana at the bottom. 47 and 62 for Amanda, and Nirvana's 50 and 58. So,
dude, picking against the spread is very difficult. Like for those of you out there that are listening that aren't in a pick'em league and just maybe bet games against the spread, it is not easy. So pat yourself on the back for the effort that you put in thus far. We're getting there. We're about almost halfway through the season. So power through. I think the money's on the upside, and we're going to be in the green in the second half of the season here. So stay positive, keep the positive vibes flowing, and let's beat Vegas. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Give it a
Dave,
shot.
what can you give us the results for the big baller of the week and the locks of the week?
Yeah, let's just say the big baller of the week. I hope that nobody started these guys in fantasy or put any player props on them, and because I had Michael Gallup as my big baller of the week. He had 0 points. 0 points for my BBW. Rondell Moore was John's. I think he had like 3 points or something like that.
Big week.
And Pat Fryermuth was Tyler Soman's. I think he had like maybe less than 5. It had to be.
But Pat Fryermuth was the best out of them.
Yeah, I think he was the best. Yeah. It was the battle of the turds that week for the BBWs. I think so. Let's hope that this week we can throw out some better results.
I'm hoping for the same. What about the lock of the week?
I forgot to factor in the results of the total week record, so let me try to get this quick in my head. I had the Raiders -6.5 versus Houston. I believe the Raiders covered.
Pick. Very good pick.
So let's see, and then you had the Saints +1.5 against Arizona. That might have been one of your backwards philosophy picks there, but they lost. The Arizona covered the spread.
Yep.
And then Tyler Soman had the Falcons +5.5 at Cincy, and that did not go well for the Falcons. Cincinnati really beat the shit out of Atlanta the whole game. So that was tough to see as a Mariota fan. I wore the Mariota jersey all day, and he did not do well. So that was a rough one. That brings the total results of the year. I am 4-3. John is 4-3 with an asterisk, and the guest is 2-4.
Nice, Joe. Maybe you can pull him up. Give him a little boost. The guest pick this week.
I think I've got a good one.
He's got a goodie.
They need it. They need it.
Let's get into the surprise games of the week. Since you guys are Bears fans, I'm going to let you guys start out because I think that's got to be up there for some people.
Yeah, Joe, do you want to talk about it? You can either take a pick first, or I'll take a stab at it first.
So for the Bears Cowboys game, I think Cowboys are going to win, unfortunately, but I don't think they're going to cover the spread. I think it'll be closer than what the spread's saying, but that's just my personal opinion.
What did you think about that Patriots Bears game last week on Monday night?
I thought they looked great, and I thought the Patriots looked like shit. So, which is why I find it interesting why they're considered favorites over the Jets this week. But who knows? We'll see. But no, I think the Chicago will put up a good fight. I think it'll be close in the first half, and then I think in the second half, I think Cowboys will kind of break away. But we'll see.
That's fair. I think for my surprise game of last week, there was a few that really shocked me. I think I'm not surprised or shocked that the Chiefs cover the spread at San Francisco. I kind of saw that coming. That was one of those games where I bounced back and forth on. I was actually going for I had the Chiefs picked all week, and then I watched the Chiefs 49ers game with some Chiefs fans, and they convinced me they were deathly afraid of the 49ers. So I flipped my pick to the 49ers, and the
Oh,
Chiefs just housed them. They just kicked their ass, and that was a surprise for me. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs covered, but I didn't think they were going to beat up on them like they did. 44-23 was the final in that one.
yeah. I think the Christian McCaffrey hype was way too much, personally.
Well, I think they just didn't give him enough action. It was his first game on the new team. He had like 3 days to learn the playbook, and
Yeah,
for people to think he was going to come in and be a difference maker, that was too much, to expect out of him.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I was surprised by that. I thought it would be a lot closer, but maybe the NFC West isn't as good as we thought.
NFC West sucks. Do you have a surprise game of last week, John?
Yeah, mine would have been the Panthers beating the shit out of the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I was thinking that one too. That was
Yeah.
shocking, really shocking. I don't know. And now usually we record before Thursday night, but again, John's fault. So now we can talk about the Thursday game of this current week. And again, man, the Buccaneers, they look like a lost franchise. Tom Brady, he looks bad physically. He looks like
Hmm.
Skeletor. He looks like his soul was sucked out of his body, like that scene from Hercules.
Yeah.
And he goes out there on the field. He doesn't look like him. He doesn't look confident. He doesn't. You could point at some different things throughout the team, like some injuries maybe, but he just does not look like himself. He doesn't look confident. He's doesn't look like a leader. He looks pouty and complaining. And a lot of people might say that that's Tom Brady, but I think this year is worse than most.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you see, Joe?
I say he does not look like himself. He's missing wide open passes, and I feel like his receiving core this year it's missing something. And Mike Evans, he steps up, but I don't know. Brady's have been having a hard time trying to find him as of recent, but
Something that stuck out to me, I think, like you said, something might be missing, Joe, is Tom Brady's always had like a tight end that he really trusts. And this year he really doesn't. I think he was maybe hoping for Gronk to come back. Cameron Brate, I think they were hoping to be better than he's been. They have this like rookie tight end now. I have no idea what his name is, but
Otten or
because
something?
I think Braid has like a horrific concussion, so he's gonna be out for a little
Yeah.
while. But without that tight end, they traded away OJ Howard, I think. So that's a different Tom Brady. We've always seen him with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, rest in peace. So now it's just a little bit different to have him not have those weapons.
Um, yeah, I watch a lot of Aaron Rodgers and I watch Tom Brady, and the first thing if I was them, I would focus on is when you're throwing the ball, don't aim for the person's feet. Try to throw it up a little bit more at chest level when you're doing the short passes, and maybe it'll work out a little better.
Well, they're both like something I've noticed too about Brady this year is usually he is like, all right, I'm better than all of you guys. I'm going to go out and throw it like where I want to put it and it's going to get there. And he's playing like Aaron Rodgers with the mindset of like, oh, I don't want to throw a pick. And like anytime there's any sort of congestion, he's just like chucking it at the feet. And I don't know if that's like intentional, like trying to avoid a pick or not, but to me, like I look and I see they're not confident and they're not stepping in and like slinging it into the window that they normally would. They're like getting skittish with like people having tight windows. But when you have receivers that can't get separation, there's going to be tight windows in the NFL.
but that's the thing with the Packers at least. I feel like more than recent, Aaron Rodgers has been getting killed in the pocket. He's been getting just thrown to the ground every single game. And I think the problem with them too is more so than Tampa Bay. Green Bay they just drop a lot of passes every single game. I mean, it's just a routine catch, but they just can't make it, which I think is part two the Packers where they're at right now.
Yeah, not to defend Aaron Rodgers, and I'm sure we'll get into the Packers in a little bit, but he really doesn't have. We lost John. We lost John. Uh, he really doesn't have like weapons. Like his wide receivers
No.
blow. Like I thought that Romeo Doubs guy was going to be good. I had him in a couple fantasy leagues, but I finally dropped him and cut ties because I don't know what's going on with the Green Bay Packers, but they're terrible. I want to hear John's thoughts on this one tweet that I saw because I think it's just absurd. I think Packer fans are the most delusional people on the planet. I mean, you probably
They're
think the
insane.
same, but the most
They're
delusional
insane.
people ever. It's so awesome to see them suck this year because, like, now they finally understand how we feel, where every week you're nervous about if they can win the game, you know?
Yeah.
The Packers normally go into every week thinking like this is it. This is our breaking out party. And they had one against the Jets that did not go well. They had one against the Commanders that did not go well. And now they play the Bills on Sunday Night Football. And I am so excited to tune into that one.
Yeah. I think the Bills are going to absolutely murder them. I think they're going to curb stomp them.
Isn't it in Buffalo too?
I believe so. It's in Buffalo, and I think Bills are 7-0 coming off a bye week, so that's something.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. You know, I was a little nervous about the spread of that game. It was a pretty big spread, but I don't even think they'll keep it close, really.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty confident in the Bills this week.
Because I think the Bills are the only team one of the Bills have scored over 30 points in every single one of their games, so they can throw it and run it and do just about everything else good.
They can sling it. John, are you back with us, buddy?
Yeah, I just can't get my camera quite yet, but I'm here in spirit.
Yeah, you're orange. You got the Halloween theme. You look like a jack-o'-lantern.
Okay.
But for those that are listening on Spotify, you know, we'll keep the audio going for you, even though we can't get you a visual if you're watching on YouTube. But maybe not a total loss if you can't see John's
probably for the better on Sunday morning, you know.
Yeah. You know, one thing I've been really disappointed in this year is Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I've been standing firm on them. You know, I still believe in Herbert and I still believe in the Chargers, but man, they have been a disappointing team this year, and you got to put some of that blame on Herbert for sure. But you know, Keenan Allen, I'm getting very frustrated with Keenan Allen. I drafted him very high in one of my leagues, and he is, like I said last week, he's made of glass. He's injured all the time. If he's on the field, he's an elite receiver, but he's got to get on the field. And I think, you know, coming off the bye week, he'll come back next week. But now you have Mike Williams out, so there's another big weapon out for the Chargers.
Yeah, Mike Williams is on my team, and after he got injured, I'm in a dynasty league, and I traded away T. Higgins before I heard that Jamar Chase is going to be injured for a first-round pick, and then I traded away Jonathan Taylor for 2 first-round picks.
Dude, you were the worst fantasy manager on planet Earth. I wish that you would ask me for advice and questions, because I would have slapped you silly. Why would you trade away T. Higgins and Jonathan Taylor in a dynasty league?
Because Dave,
dude, you're like one of those guys on the first take that just like makes the craziest like what do you call it? Like first reactions to one minor thing. Like Jonathan Taylor struggles the first couple weeks of the season. You're like, got to get rid of him. And T. Higgins, you know, they have a lot of weapons. Got to get rid of him. Like, dude, you got to calm down. It's a dynasty league. If you're struggling this year, that's okay. If you have good young players, your future is brighter than a lot of those other teams.
Okay, I understand, but listen, this is the first. So next year will be the first year where we just have the rookie draft. So what I'm thinking is that people are going to get rookie fever, rookie mania, and they are going to be willing to trade way more than the picks are worth, so they can move up to get like Bijan Robinson, this Gibbs out of Alabama, CJ Stroud. So I'm thinking what I can do. So I have potentially 3 early first-round picks in 2023. And I'm thinking I can maybe trade away 1 or 2 for like, you know, maybe like a late first rounder in DK Metcalf or something like that.
I hope it works out for you, man. I do. I'm rooting for you, but
I will need your help around springtime, because I'd love to see your assessment on rookies coming out.
Yeah, okay. I'll be more than happy to help, but you can't just ask my help sparingly. If you want my help, it needs to be year round. And those kind of big decisions that you make are just you're off the rail. Like were you hammered, or what was going on?
I was pissed because I freaking put this team out there every week, and then last week I play Nick freaking Dilts, and he has Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, who are the top, you know, 2 of the top 5 scoring fantasy players. And I just got my ass beat. And then Mike Williams gets injured with that ankle, looked horrific. And then Alan Lazard gets his shoulder effed up. You know, I already had Elijah Mitchell I lost thanks to the Bears because they hit him in the fucking knee. And so now it's just like, I was just pissed. And I'm like, hey, at least when I have a rookie draft pick, they can't get injured. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
but you can't be knee jerk like that because I mean, it's too late now to even talk about, but you know that those guys that you traded away are established players in the NFL and successful players. And you
I
traded
know,
for guys. What percentage of picks in the rookies in the draft turn out to be good players?
Dave. I know, but I'm plan on trading these draft picks for established players around draft time because people are gonna get rookie craze. You know what I
All right.
mean?
Yeah, this is frustrating me. Joe, how are your fantasy teams looking this year?
They're looking all right. I've lost the last 2 weeks, unfortunately, by I think it's less than 10 points each week. But I have Josh Allen as my quarterback, and then
Nice.
which he's been insane all year. Let me
Yeah.
see real quick. I got Josh Allen. I got Jay Mixon, Nick Chubb, and the running back from Miami. Those are my big hitters, and they get 8
Mostert,
points every. Yeah, that guy.
he's good.
Yeah. I'm glad the Bills are off their bye week, so I can try and kill this person this weekend. So they've been talking a lot of shit, so we're trying to get a win this weekend.
You can do
We'll
it.
see. Yeah, we'll see.
You can do
John,
it,
maybe
Joe.
just leave the meeting and come back. I'm sick of looking at this orange screen.
Okay, I'll try again.
Okay, thanks.
Just keep talking. If you could get into the
We'll talk Bears. We'll talk the Bears game.
Talk Bears. Yeah, that's what the people want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk
Okay.
Bears.
Big week for the Bears. Okay, I'll be back
Oh, yeah.
shortly.
Okay. We talked a little. Let's dabble a little bit in last week's Bears game. Going into that game, I was feeling terrible about it. I think if you listen back to the last week's podcast, I said
Yeah.
to take your entire life savings and put it on the Patriots to cover the spread. I thought the Patriots were going to murder the Bears. One thing that made me positive about the Bears' outcome in that game is when they announced Mac Jones was starting, because I knew that was going to throw away all the chemistry and all the momentum that the Patriots had. Because I think Mac Jones is overrated. I mean, obviously, we saw that Bailey Zappi might be a little overrated, but they had so much confidence and momentum going in that when you bench a guy like that, it throws everything off. And then it makes it even worse when, like, 2 drives into the game, you take Mac Jones out and put Bailey Zappi back in, like, hoping for a miracle. And the miracle lasted for a little bit, but you can't, like, sustain that kind of momentum, I guess.
No, I agree. I think the Patriots are kind of struggling right now, trying to figure out what route they want to go. And I think, like you said, flip flopping back and forth like they do in the middle of a game. I think that makes it very difficult to find any bit of momentum. I think this week for them is going to be really interesting to see who they go with and who can show up, and hopefully they can get the win. But I think I was very surprised with the Bears, the fact that they were able to put up 33 points, which is unheard of as a Bears fan. And
We never thought we'd
I
see the
don't.
day.
I never no. And honestly, I never thought we'd be tied with the Packers either. So, but I think with the Bears specific, I think Justin Fields looking like he's a little bit more comfortable, and he's starting. I think he's starting to kind of trust the process, if you will. But I don't know. I think Justin Fields gonna have a great game this today.
I thought that the Bears had a great game plan for Fields. I thought that, you've heard it all year with the analysts and everybody saying, like, we're trying to run this offense that doesn't fit Fields' skill set. He's running for his life, but he's a good athlete, and you saw that against the Patriots. Patriots have a good run defense, but they were using Justin Fields' running ability to his advantage rather than his survival, if that makes sense. They're running Justin Fields on, like, planned runs, quarterback sweeps, things like that, where he could get the first few steps rather than having the defense be swarming on him and then he has to scramble for his life. Um, you saw that his running ability kind of made the Patriots back up a little and have maybe like a spy on him. So that opened up the passing lanes for him, and he was more successful passing as well. I think that, like you said, Joe, having 33 points, they really could have had 40 if they wanted. They could have scored again, but Matt Eberflus, too much of a good guy. He's a respectful guy. He was respectful to Bill Belichick in that very moment, and I think that he's going to bring a lot of positive mojo and karma to the Bears for the rest of the season.
I agree. I think the game today is going to be surprising in the best way possible. Again, I think so.
I saw they were rocking the orange jerseys with the orange helmets, and
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I was like, damn, this is gonna look sweet. Like it's kind of a good Halloween theme. They're gonna look like jack-o'-lanterns running around out there. And then I was like, there's no way we can lose in these jerseys. And then I thought, oh wait, the last time we wore these was against the Commanders at home and we lost.
Got murdered.
Yeah. It's not necessarily an automatic win just because we're putting on the orange alternate unis and the orange lids, but I say the vibes are up for sure.
They're up.
Yeah,
What about
I
you?
didn't.
What about you, John?
I didn't watch the game, but I was very surprised to see them dominate the Patriots because, as you know, the wonderful Packers needed overtime to defeat the Bailey Zappi Patriots. So I was happy for you guys. I don't really, like I told you, Dave, I don't hate the Bears. I think that was a big win for them because the NFC is wide open. You know, you have the East that has really good teams and they have good records, but I think there's 3 wild cards now right? Every year on each
I
division
think so. Yeah.
I think
or
so.
each
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, at this point, the Bears are right in the thick of it, right, with the shit ass Packers. So,
Do you think that you would like so you mentioned that you don't hate the Bears. Do you think that's because you're like a good guy and you have so many friends that are Bears fans? Like you think if you didn't know a single Bears fan, you would hate the Bears?
probably more, yeah.
Because I think you're just like you're a selfless guy for the most part, besides this past week, and
Don't say that.
you know you usually care about other people's feelings and about their teams. Where you know I can't say the same. I hope the Packers get their ass kicked every single week. You know, so
Yeah.
I hate the Packers, and I have a lot of friends that are Packers fans. So I tip my cap to you, John. You're a good guy.
And then, well, I always try to keep my eye on the Oregon score too, because I know that what was the one? What were we talking about? You were saying like a loss where you're like just destroyed, like mentally and emotionally. We were
Well,
talking about that one time.
well, yeah, an adult and I cried when Oregon lost to Stanford in the last game of the
That's what it
season.
was.
Yeah. It was Andrew Luck, and he threw a touchdown pass to Zach Ertz at the end of the game. He was definitely out of bounds. Go look it up on YouTube to watch the replay. And I cried like a little girl. Like
So,
I was in my living room at home in Wisconsin, and I was sobbing like the end of Marley and Me. It was a tough scene all around. Like they were one game away from going to the national championship, and to lose a game like that to Stanford, it turned out to be what happens to the Ducks every single year. We lose to a much worse team. It just always
yeah.
happens. So this year with Dan Lanning, you know, this is an NFL podcast, but the Oregon Ducks are looking promising. You know, ever since that Georgia game, they beat all these teams that we usually trip up against, the Stanfords of the world, the Washington States of the world, the um
And that UCLA was a big win, wasn't it? Because
yeah,
UCLA was undefeated.
that was a big
So
win against UCLA. Yeah, so
yeah.
we
So
we
I always check the Oregon and make sure that, you know, as long as they squeak it out, I know Dave's okay.
yeah, thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Bears wise, I don't know. I think personally it makes it more interesting when the Bears and Lions are better because the Packers play them. You know, it's not like really that fun to watch teams get destroyed. You know, you like shootouts, you like comebacks, you like interceptions for touchdowns, you know.
That's one thing that I liked about that Bears Patriots game is it almost reminded me a little bit of the Bears of the past. You know, with the monsters of the Midway, the good defense. We had a couple turnovers. You know, the Bears, if you've been watching the Bears religiously like Joe and I have, they haven't had that like defense that gets a lot of takeaways. So it's kind of
Mhm.
frustrating to watch where we're like a bend don't break defense, but we don't get a lot of takeaways. So to have a couple interceptions against the Patriots was a really good thing to see.
Yeah, the last time I remember the Bears defense being scary was when they got that
Khalil Mack.
the Khalil Mack from Las
Yeah.
Vegas. That year, they also had a lot of other good pieces, and they added him, and he played pretty well. I don't know if he did very well after that, but that first year he went there, I know they were a freaking really good defense.
Yeah.
I
2018
think
was the
so.
year that we traded for him and he was a stud. And then like after that, he kind of was banged up.
Fizzled out.
He was still like a dominant force whenever he was out there, but he was getting hurt a lot.
Mhm.
But it was awesome to see there. It's fun to watch a team that has like a really dominant defense because it's like the other team's offense can't do anything against you, and it's just so like empowering. And usually, like a majority of the time over the last 10 years, the Bears defense has been pitiful. So I'm hoping, you know, we're starting to get those like positive monsters of the Midway vibes back.
Mhm. I will say, one team with a great defense I hate to watch is the Denver Broncos.
I
Yeah.
hate watching the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I've been tuning into the score right now.
What is
What's
it?
the
What's the
score? I was
score
just
at?
gonna check.
Actually, I just flipped my phone. They were up 14-10. Yeah,
14-10 in the fourth quarter.
fourth
Fuck.
quarter. Yeah,
Yeah, I took the Jags, so
I took
that's
the
probably
Jags as well.
so did
Yeah.
I.
God, classic.
John, tell us
Classic.
a little bit about how you're feeling with that Packers Commanders game.
Yeah, wow, Taylor Heineke, another mediocre quarterback, outshoots Aaron Rodgers again. So I got to watch Dan Jones do it, and then the MILF Hunter do it. And I always forget his name. Who
Zach
is the MILF?
Wilson.
Zach Wilson do it, and then I got to watch Taylor Heineke do it. So it's really been a fun 3 weeks. And now this week, at least when Josh Allen outduels him and is way, way better, this is expected. You know what I mean? It's Josh Allen. The guy's really fun to watch. He's extremely mobile, and he hits those tight passes. He takes risks. And I think did he just go to college in Wyoming, or is he from Wyoming?
I don't know where he's from. I don't think he's from Wyoming. I think that was like his only D1 offer.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But if you look at him like his rookie year in the NFL and maybe a little bit into his second year, he really was struggling.
Yeah.
A lot of people were really high on him like in the draft and stuff, and I was too because he has a really strong arm. But after his like rookie season, people were like starting to question things, and then now you look at him and people would always think he was like this high rated prospect and this amazing like rookie, but like he struggled a little bit coming out of the gate, kind of like Peyton Manning did.
Or Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence still sucks though.
He still sucks. I don't like Trevor Lawrence personally.
I think he's super overrated.
Yeah.
That's
what's tough. It's like when you put a high-rated drafted quarterback into like a shit team.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to struggle for a year or two for them to get some more pieces. So if they can weather the storm for the first year or two, I think usually it ends up pretty well for them.
Like Burrow,
yeah,
going
exactly.
to the Cincinnati Bengals,
like Fields.
Exactly like Fields. That was the next one I was thinking of. Yes, precisely. Thank you, David.
Justin Fields is undefeated against the other quarterbacks in his draft class.
Really? Well, that's great. I hope he keeps it up. Does he?
They play Zach Wilson, the MILF Hunter, week 12, I think. So we'll see if he can go undefeated.
Can he keep it going? Keep it going? I will say the thing the Packers have going for them is Aaron Rodgers has won 13 straight in primetime games. So he loves the bright lights, David.
Yeah, all good things must come to an end. I think
Aaron loves the bright lights. Okay, do you guys want to talk about your big fantasy baller of the week? I know. Oh, sorry. Let me go. Just last week, quick. Top 5 scorers: Joe Burrow, number 1; Austin Eckler, number 2; Josh Jacobs, number 3; Jamar Chase, 4; and the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, number 5. God, just coming through when you need him most. I also have a trivia question for you guys. Can you guess what round Austin Eckler was drafted in?
First.
Joe? I have to take a guess. I'd say 5th, but I don't know.
It was a trick question.
As a rookie, he's undrafted.
Oh, nice.
I thought you meant in fantasy this year.
No. Yeah, in the real draft. Yeah, you're right. He is undrafted.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
He's freaking awesome. Yeah, I wish I had him, but we're rebuilding, Dave. We're in the rebuilding phase here in Dynasty.
And that just goes to show, like, I was just talking about that this weekend. Like, if my kid somehow ends up being like a great athlete, good football player, I mean, it's not looking good. The genes are not looking good. But if something happens, like I shoot a little steroids in his ass as a kid, I'm definitely not going to let him be a running back because it's so like their shelf life is so short and it's so impossible to make it. Like, you got these guys that are undrafted or like late round picks that are having success, and then guys like that are top picks just always like fizzle out early. So that's a really tough position to be successful in.
Yeah, that's a great point. What you would I think I'd have him be a punter maybe, or a field goal kicker.
Are you gonna have him do anything on top of that, or just have him like be that pussy position their whole life?
Yeah, that one. No concussions. They can go on as an analyst after. They won't be like getting fed with a spoon, the Gerber baby carrot formula, because their head is so effed up.
Nobody wants a kicker as an analyst.
I mean, I would listen to it.
Was it? Well, Pat McAfee, excuse me.
Yeah, Pat McAfee. Yeah, true.
Yeah, right. He's got that successful show, right?
Yeah, you're right. I just got proven wrong. That's fair.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. I only reason I say that is because I was a punter and kicker in high school, so I gotta represent.
Yeah, you keep an eye. You're a watchdog. You protect the punters and kickers in the world.
Absolutely.
Okay, who's your big fantasy baller of the week?
Joe, you want to go first since you're a special guest, 2-time winner of the Pick'em?
I think Devontae Adams. He just was cleared that he's healthy and is going to be playing today. So I think this is his comeback game. So I think he's going to pop off. And then I also think Josh Allen's going to have a huge game against the Packers. Personally,
Oh yeah, that's going to be at least 30 points. Yeah.
I'm hoping.
That officially makes Devontae Adams his second appearance on the guest BBW. So
Wow.
congratulations, Devontae Adams.
Just
And
hope
Darren Waller is out this week, so that's going to help your case, Joe.
that there's not a cameraman close by, because that might frustrate him.
Assault
Keep an eye on
incoming.
that.
Yeah. John, go ahead. Who you got as your BBW?
Yeah, so I know this guy's really talented, so it's kind of cheating a little, but he hasn't done that well until last week when Taylor Heineke came in. I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin. It looks, just from watching that game, it looks like Taylor Heineke loves throwing it to Terry, and I think that they're going to need him this week again, because I forget who they play, but I'm sure they're going to want him. They play the Colts. So that's kind of a shit team. But oh, that random side note, did you see the Colts benched Matt Ryan
Yeah.
for that kid from Texas?
Yeah.
Hasn't he thrown like how many interceptions has he thrown? Or like 4? What was how many is it?
Matt Ryan's
14?
thrown a lot of picks and he has a lot of fumbles.
It's tough.
Remember when everyone thought that you would be upgrading from Carson Wentz when you got Matt Ryan and it was worse?
Yeah.
Just like Russell Wilson?
I don't know how long the Colts are going to try this like plug and play quarterback, like old, like veteran quarter. Like they had Phil Rivers for a year.
Yep.
They had
Playoffs.
Carson Wentz, and now they
Missed
had
the
Matt
playoffs.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So and ever since Andrew Luck absolutely tanked that franchise when he retired spontaneously.
But you can't blame the guy. I mean, his brain is probably. I mean, if you opened him up, you could probably eat his brain out with a spoon because it was so soft.
Yeah, that's a messed up visual, bro. But yeah. Yeah, he's got the Antonio Brown brain, so it was good. It's good to see, Andrew Luck living a healthy, happy life. But as a football fan, I would have loved to see him keep playing because he was a good quarterback and he made the Colts relevant. I think the Colts being relevant is good for football. So hopefully Sam Ehlinger is the next best thing, the next Peyton Manning. Maybe he'll go out there and bring him back to glory. But I don't know. I'm starting Sam Ehlinger this week in my 3 quarterback fantasy league over Aaron Rodgers. So. Never thought I'd see the day, but I'm going to go for it and see what happens.
Because he runs. That's what I was reading about him, is he's like fairly athletic. So you could get a lot more rushing yards, certainly, than you would get with Dusty Rogers.
Yeah. So I have scary Terry McLaurin in 2 of my fantasy leagues. So I'm hoping that your prediction comes to fruition. But if we look at the past and the history of your picks, I'm a little nervous. I'm going to go with a guy that I had one on the tip of my tongue, but I'm going to lay off him just because of who he's playing. So I'm going to go Tyler Boyd of the Bengals with Jamar Chase out. I feel good about Tyler Boyd. I picked him up off the waivers in one of my leagues. Wow. He was already wide receiver number 13 in the league. So you take out the number 1 target, Jamar Chase. Those are a lot of more targets to sprinkle around the field. I think Tyler Boyd sees a lot of those targets.
I agree. That was my other pick I was going to do, but I didn't really watch that Bengals game last week, so I haven't really watched Tyler Boyd. So.
Yeah, he's been quietly having a lot of success, so I'm hoping that it gets even better. Could be one of those cases where like everyone thinks that it's going to get better and then it gets worse. So we'll see what happens.
It's a good pick.
Thanks.
Can we get some locks of the week?
Yeah, please. Joe, you want to go first?
Yeah. For me, I think New York Giants. I think covering the spreads, I think that's easy money personally.
Can you tell us who they play and what the spread is?
Okay. I believe they play the Seahawks, and the spread right now they're at plus 2.5, and I see them winning the game. And I personally think the Seahawks are overrated. Some weeks they look good, some weeks they look bad. I think the New York Giants have looked consistent all year, and I'll say they're probably one of the most surprising teams of the season, in my opinion. Them and the Eagles, I did not see that coming, but that's my lock for the week. New York Giants.
Yeah, that's interesting that the Giants are underdogs.
Yeah,
where is it at? Is it at Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know Seattle put up a bunch of points last week. I forget how many they put up against.
Like 37 or something.
Yeah,
they hung it on the Chargers, on the Bolts, dude.
Yeah. So who knows? I don't know. I think if the Giants play their game, I think it's going to be an easy win, but we'll see.
I'm a Geno believer. I think he's here. He's here to stay, man. He's the future in Seattle.
He ain't right back. My lock of the week, I'm going to go first, John, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards the Vikings -3.5 versus the Cardinals. I think the Vikings are at home. They're coming off a bye. The 3.5 always scares me. It always makes me nervous because Vegas is smart, and I could definitely see them winning that game by 3. But I could also see the Vikings blowing them out. I think the Cardinals are overrated. A new Call of Duty just dropped, so Kyler Murray's going to really struggle this week.
Yep.
And I like the Vikings coming off the bye, beating up on the Cardinals this week as my lock of the week.
Nice. No, that's a good one. I would agree that the Cardinals do not look very good. Like if you're playing them, you're not very scared, you know. I'm gonna go I think Joe touched on it early in the episode, but I will take the Jets +1.5 over the Patriots. And I'm not doing my backwards thought process. I legitimately think the Jets will win this game against the Patriots in New York. And now that I've put it out there into the world, they will probably lose, but I will be cheering for Tyler Soman and the Jets.
I like that pick too, and the Patriots are going with Mac Jones again, so I'm sure that'll be another shit show disaster. You know what they say, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have
0
quarterbacks, exactly. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. So the New England has a real problem on their hands that they haven't had since 2001 or 2000 with Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady. So we're gonna see what happens in New England, but it's something to keep your eyes on.
But I'm concerned, Dave, if you think that's a good pick. I'm concerned if we are agreeing on this. I'm
Yeah,
very
I'd be
concerned
concerned
about my
too.
lock of the week.
So if I see your pick going in as the Patriots, I'm gonna slap you across the face.
No, I'm not doing it. I won't switch, I promise. Yeah, what do you guys got any other thoughts? Any funny stories?
I mean, how are you feeling going into this Sunday night football game against the Bills? I'm curious.
So I do have I know this probably isn't good for my competition, but I am going with the Packers. Because it's 10.5, I think they'll lose by 10. So they'll just barely cover it. I have always thought that the team follows Aaron Rodgers, probably not happily, but they do. And he always plays well when they're an underdog. The most recent one I can remember is when they went into the Cardinals last year, and the Cardinals were 7-0, and they were without Devontae Adams, and they still beat the Cardinals. I think they were like 9-point underdogs, and they still beat them by like 6 points. So I don't think they're going to win. I'm not that crazy, but I think that they can keep it within 10. Yeah. So I'll probably be wrong because I honestly don't know who they're going to throw to because it's Romeo. I don't know if that other rookie, Christian Watson, which actually, another shout out to Nick Diltz. I was reading online and people were shitting on Christian Watson, saying at North Dakota State he basically played against accountants and future lawyers. Because he went to such a shitty school. So I don't know. I mean, I know he's fast, but I don't know if I don't know if those 2 rookies are gonna save him. And Sammy Watkins.
Okay, that just jogged my memory. Thank you. I forgot I was going to ask you. I saw this tweet this past week, and I wanted to ask you on the podcast. It said, I truly believe that if Christian Watson did not drop that pass against the Vikings in Week 1, it would have changed the trajectory of the Packers season completely. What are your thoughts on that?
That's absolutely stupid.
That Packer fan, I don't know how he tweeted with his straitjacket on, rolling around in his padded room. That Packer fans are just delusional.
With his nose, Dave. He had the phone on the ground and he was tapping it with
he was
his
poking
nose.
at it like a bird.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was certainly wide open, and because Nick Diltz has Christian Watson on his team, that was his big rookie drafted. I did love watching him drop the pass. Like, it brought me a lot of joy. But no, I don't really think it changes much because I think you're still going to have all these injuries. The defense looks shit. I mean, the defense isn't all of a sudden going to be better because Christian Watson would catch that, So
delusional, completely delusional.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that guy needs to be mentally evaluated.
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
somebody, by a professional,
by Carlo,
not by you and me. Yeah, by Carlo. Yeah, exactly. Joe, what do you think? What are your thoughts on the football season as a whole? Have you enjoyed watching football this year?
I will admit it's been quite frustrating, especially being an avid sports bettor. they're
Oh, I
just
bet. Oh boy.
the teams that are supposed to win are not winning, and it's quite frustrating. But
Oh yeah.
no, it keeps it interesting though. I've been riding a hot streak as of recent, so hopefully today is prosperous as the last couple of weeks have been. So we'll see. But I will admit the one thing that scares me about this week is that the spreads for the Cowboys game, the Eagles, and the Bills, they're all sitting about 10 points, which
That's
is
scary.
double-digit spreads are never a good.
Yeah.
It's tough to bet against. That's at least.
Have
But
have you ever done, Joe, the teasers? Have you ever heard of this?
mm-mm.
So you can do like a 3-leg teaser, and your odds are basically even, but you get to gain 7 points on those 3 teams. So like if you took the Eagles, the Bills, and the Cowboys, you would basically then have the Cowboys just have to they have to win by 2.5 points. The Eagles
Oh,
have to
gotcha.
win by 3.5. And it pays out, it's a little better than even money. It's like it'd probably be like plus 120. But
Yeah.
there was a guy in a blackjack player that started this method, and if you look at it historically, you have to pick the right games. Like the spread has to be correct. It really doesn't matter about the teams. It's all about like you want to tease a spread down from say 10.5 to 3.5. There's like
Mm.
a correct way to do it, and I think you win like 53% of the time if you stick with it. But
I mean,
the
like those
problem is not every week they have games where the spread is correct, where you get that benefit from teasing
yeah.
it down. Check it out. Try it one time. Let me know.
I'll give it a
Just put
shot.
few
I'll let
bucks
you
on
guys
it.
know. But
Yeah.
as Dave knows, I'm a big fan of live betting, that money line. So I wait
Really?
for it's the most electric bet in sports. Wait
So
for any team to
what's
get
the
down.
method? Like what's your method?
Honestly, I kind of just hope that the shit team starts playing really well in the beginning, like the first quarter, second quarter, and then once you got like the Bills are down by 10 points and you got a positive money line, you throw some money on there and just hope for the best.
Are you doing it?
uh,
Is there a time of the game you're doing it? Or, like will you do it in the first half, or is it usually you're doing it late in the game?
it's honestly all
Whenever he
depends.
sees those plus signs on the
Yeah,
favorite.
pretty much. Yeah, as whenever I think the better team, especially when you also it's depending on the quarterback too. Like if I ever see like last year whenever Tom Brady was down at in the first quarter or something like that, I'd throw money on them because I always bet money on Tom Brady. Same with Aaron Rodgers. Those are two quarterbacks that can drive you down the field and get a comeback win.
Mhm.
So, but I will admit, Tom Brady has killed me this year. So I'm not betting on Tom Brady anymore this year. But
You stuck with him?
what's that? I've been trying after we're getting to week 8 now. I think I'm gonna stop betting because I definitely threw some money on that game the other night and it did not end up well for me. But
So
that's betting.
who's your new Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers fill-ins? Because those guys aren't doing it.
It's honestly Josh Allen. I always bet him to get over 300 yards in the air, over 2.5 total touchdowns a game, and they usually sprinkle that in with another part of a parlay, and that usually works out pretty well. So
That's your boy, huh?
yeah, he's my guy. But I also will bet on New York Giants live money line is also really good because they usually keep it close, and then the odds usually swing against them. But if you can get them at the right time, you'll make some money.
Yeah, Vegas does not respect the Giants. Have you
They
have
do
you noticed
not.
that?
No, they
And
do not.
they don't love Dan Jones, but I really don't think Dan Jones has looked that bad. I don't know
I
what
had
you
He
to
think.
I have to
looks.
start Dan Jones this week in fantasy because Herbert's on a bye. So
Dude, that's not a bad. He went off last week. I think he had like
Yeah,
28 points because he was running all
I
over.
picked him up last week because the
Yeah,
Bills were on their bye, so he worked out for me last week.
it was a good pickup. It was a good
Yeah.
pickup there, Joe. Yeah, I think that's good if you can get things because it just sounds weird saying the Giants are 6-1. It doesn't feel right, you know.
Well,
It feels so. It's the same with like talking and saying the Jets are what 4-2.
5-2, I think.
Jesus, I mean, you know what I mean? It just feels so wrong that if you can catch these trends early and just ride them right with the team, I mean, it's got to
mhm.
be a great feeling.
That's the thing though with the Giants is that they haven't really had one of those wins that's like jump off the paper, like they're just crushing teams. They just kind of grind it out for 4 quarters, and I think they truly come fourth quarter. I think they've got more left in the tank. I think which helps them win.
They're a whole
Yeah,
different
that's
team when
actually
Barkley's healthy.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's a great evaluation, though. Yeah, you're right. They just kind of keep it close, and then they just squeak right ahead right at the end.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Get us win by 1 point.
Yeah,
But
that defense does look good. When they played the Packers, I was really impressed with how good the defense for the Giants looked.
Yeah, their defense looks solid. And the offense is, they figure it out. You talk about teams that have terrible wide receivers. The Giants are one of them, and they've been figuring it out without really any solid weapons at wide receiver. So pretty impressive. And Brian Dable has done an amazing job as coach there. That was someone that I wanted the Bears to get. So when they didn't, I was disappointed because he's a good coach and he's really proven it in these first few weeks. So,
God, if he would have went to the Bears, you guys would probably be freaking undefeated right now.
that's what I like to think, at least.
Because I always thought like Dan Jones or Justin Fields, I'd take Justin Fields.
Yeah, me too. I still would. I still would.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would right now.
Well, you're a real knee-jerk reaction kind of guy, so that doesn't surprise me.
All
You kind of look like
yeah.
Dan Jones with that comb over you're rocking right now.
I will reach out to you, Dave, if I have any more blockbuster trades. But the trade deadline is done in a week, so I can't trade anymore in Dynasty.
There's nothing better in the world that could happen to you than a trade deadline. Because Jesus Christ,
you're gonna see, Dave. You're gonna see. We'll talk about it.
What a good way to just summarize how the NFL season has gone so far. I have these two coworkers that were in a Survivor League. You guys heard of that?
Where you just get to one pick every week?
Yeah, one pick every week. It's this money line, who's going to win. Some leagues, like you can't use the same team twice, so that takes a little bit of more strategy. But this league, you could pick whoever you wanted. And this past week, both of the guys that I had, they had went from like 30,000 total entries to like 81 or something there was left, and they both lost this week because they had the Patriots on Monday night against the Bears. And I said to him, I was like, I saw him at work on Tuesday, and I said, if I got to pick two teams to be survivors that week, it would be the Patriots and it would have been the Buccaneers against the Panthers, and both teams lost. And that just goes to show like how difficult the NFL season is to pick winners.
Yeah. Yeah, that even straight up.
Even straight up.
Yeah. Because that Carolina game was, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I saw highlights, but I was like, that doesn't.
So then you try to pick against a spread too, and it's just like a total disaster. Like one spread game that pissed me off this past week was that Ravens-Browns game. Like the Ravens should have killed the Browns. They were killing the Browns, and then another game they pissed down their leg, and they still won the game, but they didn't cover the spread. And those kind of things just really grind my gears.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, are you guys good? I mean, I think this is a good episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode. We'll cut it off here. I'll try to get it uploaded ASAP. Joe, thanks for coming on. Congrats on your second win, even though it was a tie, and tying's like kissing your sister. We're happy to have you on to celebrate the win. Shout out Jess for the tie as well.
Yeah, shout out to Jess. But this is Joe's like second week. Remember, he won that first
week. Joe deserves to be on the podcast this week. So anybody that says different, get out of here. So
yeah, we're honored to have you, Joe, and thanks for coming on.
All right, boys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. You too.